Congratulations on the purchase of your Northern Industrial Tools MIG Stick 200 welder. This welder will help you attain professional looking welds on many of your steel, stainless steel, and aluminum projects. It is lightweight and has excellent DC stick capabilities, providing for extreme portable welding. This welder package should contain the welding unit, a MIG gun, a ground cable and clamp, a gas hose and regulator, a small consumables package including 2 contact tips, a nozzle, and an L-shaped hex wrench, 2 spools of sample wire, an 8-inch spool adapter, a stick electrode holder, a sample pack of stick electrodes, and the operator's manual. Your operator's manual provides important safety information that can help you protect you and others around you. Be certain to review all safety information so that you can be sure to safely enjoy your new purchase. Let's take a little time to understand your new welder. On the front panel you will see the wire feed speed control knob, the voltage control knob, the process selector switch, the input power indication light, the thermal overload indicator light, and the weld output indicator light. We will discuss the proper settings of the wire feed speed control and the voltage ranges a bit later. The gas regulator and hose will supply the unit with shielding gas for projects that require shielding gas. These items will not be used when using flux cord wire or while stick welding. The MIG gun delivers weld current, welding wire, and shielding gas to the area being welded. The welding arc is similar to a light bulb in that it requires a completed electrical circuit in order to function. The ground cable and ground clamp will complete that electrical circuit back to the unit. The side access panel opens up, giving you access to the wire compartment. Inside you will find the wire drive assembly, the wire spool holder, and the welder setup guide. On the back of the unit you will see the input power switch, the input power cord, the gas input connection for when using shielding gas, and the reset button for current overload protection. The welding process does produce sparks that can cause fires. Be certain to keep your welding area free of flammable materials. Make certain to have a fire extinguisher handy in the event a fire does occur. This unit uses electricity to produce a welding arc. To avoid electrical shock, make certain your welding area is dry. Never weld in a damp, wet, or humid environment. The welding arc produces harmful ultraviolet and infrared rays. Be sure to properly protect your eyes and skin from damage. A welding helmet with an ANSI approved lens shade of at least 9 should be used. It is also recommended that you use a flame retardant cap, coat, and pants along with gloves to protect all bare skin areas. Keep other people away from you while you're welding. It is a good idea to use proper screens and other barriers to protect others from the welding arc. The welding arc also produces fumes and gases that are harmful to your health. Be certain to weld in a well-ventilated area and use a ventilation device to remove your welding fumes if needed. Always inspect your welder before each use. Make certain the ground cable, power cord, and MIG gun are free of damage. Replace any damaged components prior to use. Be careful to make certain you do not accidentally come in contact with the welding wire or the ground cable and clamp while you are welding. You can also prevent injuries by being aware of moving parts and keeping your fingers away from the drive rolls. It is always wise to disconnect the power before maintaining or adjusting welder components. Use this rule of thumb: if the sheet metal needs to come off, bring it to a qualified technician. For more about safety, please take a moment to review the operator's manual. Now let's work on installing a spool of wire. Remove the wing nut, washer, and black bushing from the spool hub. Install the 4-inch spool of wire so that the wire will feed off the bottom of the spool. Reinstall the black bushing, washer, and wing nut. If you're using an 8-inch spool of wire, you'll first need to install the 8-inch spool adapter. Remove the wing nut, washer, and black bushing. Slide on the 8-inch spool adapter and reinstall the black bushing, washer, and wing nut. Make note of the notch in the 8-inch hub adapter. This notch will align with the hole in the side of the 8-inch spool of wire. Slide the 8-inch spool onto the hub all the way to the back of the hub and secure. Now we can feed the wire through the drive assembly and into the gun. Loosen the drive tension wing nut and open up the drive tension arm. Next we will need to remove the drive roll. Take the supplied L-shaped hex wrench and remove the drive roll from the drive shaft. While holding the wire to make certain it does not uncoil, use a wire snips to free the loose end of the wire. The welding wire is wound up like a spring, so make certain to keep tension on the wire. Feed the loose wire end through the inlet guide below the drive tension adjuster. Slowly hand feed the wire across the drive shaft and feed the wire through the front of the machine. Now reinstall the drive roll and secure in place using the L-shaped hex wrench. Close the drive tension arm and reinstall the drive tension adjuster. Next, find the hex-headed retaining screw on the wire drive assembly and remove it. On the front of the machine, slide the wire into the end of the MIG gun and push the MIG gun all the way back into the feeder. Then install the trigger leads. Now reinstall the hex-headed retaining screw. Next, remove the nozzle and the contact tip from the gun. Turn the wire feed speed control on the front panel to approximately 5 or 6. Make certain the process selector switch is in the MIG position. Reconnect the input power and turn on the unit. Pull the trigger on the gun so the drive rolls turn and the wire will automatically feed through the gun. When the wire has extended past the end of the gun, release the trigger and turn off the input power. Slide the proper size contact tip over the tip of the wire and secure the contact tip to the gun. Reinstall the welding nozzle and snip the excess wire past the nozzle. To make certain that the wire feeds smoothly and so that it does not recoil on the spool, we need to adjust the spool hub drag. Turn the welder on and while watching the spool of wire, pull the trigger for about 2 seconds. When the trigger is released, the spool should continue to turn just enough to put a small amount of slack on the welding wire. If the spool turns too far, the welding wire on the spool will uncoil. With a heavy welding glove in one hand, try feeding the wire from the gun into the gloved hand. Keep the gun about 4 inches away from your hand. Adjust the drive tension wing nut until the wire coils into your gloved hand without the wire slipping in the drive rolls. Next, we're going to install the shielding gas. You will need to select the proper shielding gas for your welding application. For MIG welding steel, generally you'll be using a CO2 and argon mixture. For MIG welding aluminum, the shielding gas you will use will be straight argon. If welding stainless steel, typically a 3-gas mixture is used. You'll want to make certain no debris is in the receptacle of the shielding gas bottle. A quick crack of the valve will blow any debris out. Next, install the regulator right onto the bottle. The gas hose then connects to the regulator and to the gas valve on the back of the welding unit. You should test the regulator to make certain it is set for 20 cubic feet per minute. Your machine comes with a handy setup guide on the inside of the wire compartment door. Find the material you are welding and the size of the wire that you are using. Set the voltage and the wire feed speed on the front control panel using the settings on the chart. Next, install the ground cable to the ground cable receptacle. You may need to fine-tune your settings depending on your welding conditions or the position that you are welding in. For stick welding, first make certain to remove the MIG gun. Then install the electrode holder to the electrode receptacle. You will also need to change the process selector switch to stick welding. Stick welding amperage is controlled using the same knob as the voltage control for MIG welding. Your new welding unit is now ready to use. If you would like more assistance with the setup and operation of this welder, please call our welder helpline toll-free at 1-877-304-0294 or you can visit us at www.ntwelderhelp.com.